Namaste. Okay, as usual, we'll start with the quote. And the quote today is equanimity. It's a noun, in case you were wondering. Equanimity, mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. Equanimity, mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. So today we're going to try and do our postures with an equanimous mind. It doesn't matter the type of posture that you do, but it always matters the state of your mind as you're in the posture. So that's a theme for today, equanimous mind. So if you'd like to lie down in Shavasana, we're going to count down the breaths from 21. So as always, get yourself comfortable. Feet slightly more than hip width apart. Floppy feet, which relaxes the thigh muscles. Palms stretched out to the side of the body. Enough so that the shoulders can roll out and relax on the ground. Lift up your left shoulder and just gently ease it out into a comfortable position. The same with the right. You're spending a few seconds to ensure that the next few moments of breathing are beneficial. As always, check that your head, your chin isn't painting the ceiling. So tuck your chin in and then allow it to spring back to a comfortable position. Take your lower back and gently compress it down to the ground. And then let it spring back up again to a comfortable position. Twice more. Flatten that lordosis if you have one. Most of us have a lordosis of different severities. And let it spring back up. Once more. Now you're ready in your own time to start to count down the breaths from 21. So you say mentally, I am breathing in 21. Then you wait for your natural pause. And then allow a breath to release under its own steam. It's a full yogic breath, which we practiced last week. So start in your own time from 21 down to 0. Don't worry if you lose concentration. You just start again at 21. You don't even have to get to 0. So please start in your own time. I am breathing in 21. I am breathing in 20. I am breathing out 20. And you're trying to soften and surrender your body weight onto the ground. Remember, you're not in a hurry to get the breath in, and you're not in a hurry to release the breath. Slow, smooth, deep breaths. And inflating the abdomen, expanding the rib cage. A final puff of air up in the clavicle area. Oxygenating the blood, calming the nervous system, cleansing the lungs, and perhaps getting some spaces between your thoughts. %70 of metabolic waste is released through the lungs. But of course, we're trying to get the waste out of our mind from these thousands of unnecessary thoughts that we choose to follow. So a great practice to do last thing at night if you're struggling to drop off. When and if you get to zero, just lie and allow the body to breathe naturally. Don't chastise yourself if you lose count or concentration. Don't chastise yourself if thoughts come in to disturb you. Let them be. Return to the practice. Three more breaths. Gently slip your hands behind your lower back and push up. I will sit at an angle today so you can see my toes. We did this posture last week and the week before. We're just going to sit tall, which in itself is a posture, so we don't want to be slumped. If you have back issues or you find this uncomfortable, you can support your back with your arms, but try initially is just sit tall and you'll feel what happens to your abdominals and your thigh muscles. And we're just going to do simple, slow, gentle movements today. Again, these are perfect for last thing at night. They don't use a lot of energy and you slow down the activity of the body, which may calm the mind. So we're just going to move the toes. As we inhale, we're just going to bend the toes towards you. And as you exhale, squeeze them tightly. So we're not moving the ankles, just the toes. Inhale. Always waiting for your natural pause. Exhale. Inhale. The movement is always in line with the breath, not the other way around. And if the thoughts come, let them come. Let them go with an equanimous mind. Just focusing on the practice. Remember, meditation, the classical definition of meditation is just continued concentration in whatever you're doing. You don't have to be wearing any fancy clothes, have any beads, no paraphernalia. You can be doing any movement at all, as long as you're fully concentrated. That's meditation. Now introduce the ankles. So we inhale as we bend the ankles and we pull the toes back towards the body, and you feel the stretch in the calf muscles, the contraction of the thighs. Exhale as you point the toes. And again, the shin muscles come into play. Check that you're sitting tall. Check that you haven't slouched. If you find that you need to support your back, then please do. You can always sit against a wall. You can do these sitting in bed. The important thing is that you're comfortable and you're focusing on the movements, not being distracted by any discomfort. Inhale as we pull the toes and the ankles back. Exhale as we push. Very subtle movements, but very beneficial. Now we circle the toes. So you point them forward, both at the same time, and we pull them back, circling the ankles. It doesn't matter which direction you've started on, because you're going to change it. So circling the ankles, circling the feet. And now reverse. Just easing out any tension in these structures. If you're fully focused on this, you won't be feeling what's happening in the rest of the body. Check that you're still sitting tall. Even with the support of the arms, you can still slouch, keep the spine straight. Couple more circles, nice and slow. And then we're going to take the left foot and place it on the right knee, or right thigh, sorry. Now, I like to place my hands under the foot to give it so the bone of the ankle doesn't dig into my thigh. Not everyone has this. This is a classical position where you just place it on top of the leg. I like to lift the foot up and support it so the bone is away. And we're going to do ankle crank. So we take our right hand and we're going to move the ankle around in a circle. Inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward. Check that you're still sitting tall. And check that you're not assisting the movement with your mind. So what I find is people still try to turn the ankle with their mind as opposed to just using the hand. It's a hand that's turning the ankle. Everything else is free and loose. Clockwise, inhale as you take the ankle up. Exhale as you go down. And we're getting the full range of movement of the joint. Easing out any tension. Bringing circulation to the area. And you're still breathing deeply, and you're strengthening the back muscles by sitting tall. Change direction, anti-clockwise. The slower the better. Remember, it takes 6 seconds for muscles, tendons, ligaments to start to help you. And if you have an injury, if you have a problem, you're less likely to damage yourself by slowly easing into the movement. A couple more circles. Then we take the left foot and place it on the ground next to your knee before you straighten it, and then you straighten it. This protects the knee. We do it twice, take it back and straighten it again, and that just realigns everything. You know what's coming now? It's the right foot on top of the left thigh. Again, I like to cradle it. And then we start clockwise. Inhale in the upward movement, exhale in downward. And the challenge is to not move the foot with the mind, because the mind wants to do the circling for you. You're moving the foot with the left hand. Inhale. Try to keep sitting tall. It's easy to go into the slouch position. The shoulders come forward, you bend the spine. Clockwise, inhale up, exhale down. And you'll feel a resistance because the mind wants to help you. Of course, if you're doing this yourself, you can have a count so you don't get lost in just moving it randomly. Then we change direction anti-clockwise. Again, just check that you're sitting tall. It's okay if you're leaning against something. Rather, you fully focus on doing this than straining the back if the muscles aren't strong enough. A couple more circles. And then place your right foot next to your knee, straighten up the leg, and then you stretch it out. And then just take it back once more, just to realign the knee. Sit tall. Just take a few seconds to sit in the base position with an equanimous mind. Remember, an equanimous mind means you don't react to external stimuli. It's going to happen anyway. You don't have to emotionally get involved and put your body out of kilter. Okay, we stretch our arms forward, parallel to the ground. We tuck our thumbs in to our fists, and we're just going to inhale and open our fingers. But we're not passive with the arms. The arms are stretched forward. We inhale as we just open the fingers wide. Wait for your natural pause. Exhale, tuck them in. Tuck the thumb in and gently squeeze. This is all we're doing, trying to keep your arms parallel to the ground, keeping your back straight. Inhale, open the fingers, exhale. All these neglected areas of the body that don't get much attention, you can ease out the tensions with these simple exercises. And because they're not load-bearing, you're not using a lot of energy to do them. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, close. When you're doing your own practice, of course, you can stop. If the arms or the shoulders are beginning to build up lactic acid, then you just stop, lower them, place them on your knee. In fact, we can do that. Just lower your arms, place them on your knee, your hands on your knees. Take a breath into the back of the neck, and then flush it down through the shoulders and arms. So with visualization and with concentration, you're helping to ease away the lactic acid quicker than would normally happen. Check that you're sitting tall, that you haven't dropped the chin. Place either arms parallel to the ground again. And we're just going to bend the wrists. So we're going to inhale as we raise the fingers up. And you can feel the stretch. Exhale as you lower them down. Ooh. I've done a lot of swimming this week, so these are very tight. And if it's any consolation, I can feel it on my thighs as well. But ordinarily, if I wasn't speaking, you'd be focusing on just the effect in your own body. Inhale, just to raise your fingers. Wait for the natural pause. Check you're sitting tall. Check your arms are still parallel. Exhale down. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in this present moment. I know it's a beautiful moment. Just by me saying that, I felt the need to sit taller because it gives me energy. I've said these things for so many years. I associate these statements with feeling better. This is what mantras are about. If you say a mantra and it works for you, it can be anything. And each time you say it after a prolonged period, you will gain the benefits. And lower the arms, give them a wee rest. Sit tall, hands on the knees. If you're not leaning against something and you're feeling your back a little, then you can just place the arms at the side and give yourself a wee break. Get that breath into the back of the neck. Forget about the nose. Take the awareness to the back of the neck. Natural color is blue, if you want to introduce that. It's not for everyone. Flush the back of the neck with energy and then disperse it down over the shoulders, arms, into the fingers. The exhalation. Stretch out our arms again. Turn our palms upwards. We inhale, and as we exhale, we take our fingers and touch them onto our shoulders. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we close. And try not to keep the elbows down. You're trying to keep the elbows up. I know. I feel it too. Inhale. See, these are very simple. It's only your own arms you're lifting, no one else's. There's no weights attached to them. Exhale as we touch and we raise the elbows because you naturally want to drop them and you can feel what's happening to your back muscles. Inhale. I know, I can feel it too. And if you really want to feel it now with the hands on the shoulders, we circle the elbows. Inhale as we come up. Ooh, now you'll feel something nice and slow. Look, inhale up. Exhale around and down. So if you've spent hours this last week on a keyboard, whatever, or sitting in a particular position, doing a repetitive movement, and this will just ease things out of the body. Again, you can stop and have a rest, or you can go the opposite direction. Inhale up, around and down. Couple more. Remember, during the class environment, you're just getting a feel for a situation. It's up to you how much you take away from the class and practice in your own time. Everyone's at different levels, so it's always a challenge to gauge where everyone's at. Once more, inhale, take the elbows up the front, around, and then squeezing and down. And then you definitely need a rest after that one. So hands onto knees, or you can gently lean back, use your arms as a post, but you're still keeping your back straight. You're not slouching down and bringing the shoulders forward. You're keeping everything upright, but with the hands slightly behind the back, and you can lean back and use that as a post. And just breathe slowly and deeply. I can feel the warmth, I can feel tingling, circulation. It's blood and lymph. A few more breaths, and then we're just going to do it. We're just going to go and do a gentle, gentle cat. So in your own time, just move into the cat position. Now, because we've eased out all these wrists, then perhaps it may make the gentle cat position more comfortable for you. But if you still find that it's too much for the wrists, then you just move your fingers slightly forward, which changes the angle on the wrists. Check that you've got the width, arms down under your shoulders. Check that your knees are wide enough. And remember, the simplest cat is we start with the chin. It doesn't so matter about the breathing because there's different ways of doing it, but we inhale as we raise the chin, look forward, lengthen the throat, and then vertebra by vertebra, you begin to hollow the back. You get a pull in the abdominals, and you raise your buttocks. So this is a position. We've inhaled doing this, but you can inhale, exhale. It doesn't matter how many breaths you take doing this. But once you've reached the final position where you can't move, then you start again with the chin, always with the chin. So we tuck the chin in, slowly push through the arms, and then just ease each vertebra. As you begin to arch, and you pull in the bottom, push through the arms. And again, that's a position you retain. And then when you're ready to breathe again, inhale as you raise the chin. Everything else stays in the same position until you work down the spine. Slowly, 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 slowly. As many breaths as you need. Then you're back into the back being hollow, the buttocks raised, neck long, chin pointing forward. You can even look up with the eyes. You can take a comfort breath in this position, then you start again. Tucking chin in. Push through the arms. Arch through the back. Pull the gluteals in. You can even pull your stomach muscles in. It's entirely up to you. As long as it's gentle and smooth, and you're always starting each movement with the chin. So finish the movement that you're on, because we're all at a different pace. Subtle, subtle movements. Adjust your fingers if you need to, change the angle. And we're now going to do a diagonal stretch. Check that you're comfortable. And we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg. So check that you've got the balance. You don't have to come right out. Check before you lift up properly that you have the balance. If you're wearing glasses, adjust them. That's what I've just had to do. And we're going to stretch out with the right arm and the left leg. And we're not lifting up high. We're just lifting the limbs parallel to the ground. And we're stretching out as we inhale. Stay for as long as it's comfortable. If you start shaking, then that usually means you're You're not wide enough with your stance, or your muscles are fatigued. Inhale as we stretch. Remember, we're not lifting, we're keeping it parallel. You can do 3, 4, 5 stretches, whatever's comfortable, and then you change. Stretch through those fingers as you inhale, point through those toes. You can feel the thighs contracting. You can feel the shoulder girdle lifting. Abdominal stretching. And then just in your own time, we'll do once more to either side. Stop, take a few comfort breaths, depending on how challenging you found it. Don't get agitated, don't get upset. Equanimous mind. Remember, it's not about the posture, it's about where your mind is during the posture. So you're focusing on the stretch. Stretching, balancing, strengthening. Some days you can balance perfectly, other days you can't. It's okay. Depending on how tired your limbs are, depending on how tired your mind is. I'm finding this a little challenging today because my limbs have been pushed this week. Cycling and swimming. Back to the neutral position in your own time. So if that's enough for you, then you sit down on your heels and stretch out your arms straight. But if you'd like one further movement, then we're going to lift the right leg, and we are going to bend it this time, and then we're going to take it through and tuck it in towards our chest. So again, get the position, hodge about, and we're going to inhale as we stretch out the right leg, and I'm going to bend at the knee. I'm not going to lift with a straight leg today because I want to stretch in the thigh and lift up. So I'm getting a lovely stretch through the thigh there. Traction of the lower back. And then I exhale as I take the knee through. And you're trying to kiss the knee. No problem if you can't get there today, maybe tomorrow. Inhale. Stretch out, bend at the knee and lift. Very nice movement. You can stretch through the throat and lift up your chin if you wish, if you want to add that. Down we come, exhale. Once more. Check it, you're not taking the hip right over the right side and twisting at the hip. It's a lift and a bend through the knee. And back through. Again, you can do as many of these as you wish. Once you've done your 3 or 5, or even 1, you do what you can with awareness, with the breath, and with an equanimous mind. And now try the left. Remembering that one side will always be tighter than the other. This is a lot tighter in the thigh. Hold for your natural pause, or you can hold for a number of breaths. There's always so many ways of doing the same thing. But you're always in control of your own performance. I'm only making suggestions. If any posture is not for you, you lie down in Shavasana and relax. You don't feel defeatist. You don't chastise yourself. Once you're finished, you sit back on your heels, stretch out your arms. Inhale as you stretch and soften. So inhale, you gently walk forward with the fingers, and then exhale and you soften and release. You can feel the stretch through the shoulders, the intercostals, the muscles between the ribs, and the spine. People often ask, which part of the body does this affect? Well, you can usually figure it out with awareness. A couple more breaths. Walk through the fingers, straighten the arms if possible, lengthen through the torso. Inhale as you come up. We're going to do an old favorite. Back up into the position. We're going to do thread in the needle. So again, you're going to get comfortable with the hands, with the knees. We're going to raise our right arm first. And we're just going to do one round, but we're going to hold for 3 breaths. So we inhale as we raise the right arm. Doesn't matter how far you get. First point of resistance, you stop. And we'll have 3 breaths. Look up to the right arm. And then you come down with the right arm and thread it through under the body. You can stop on the elbow, that's as far as you can go, or you can continue right through if you have the flexibility and the desire. And then you raise the right arm, sorry. 3 breaths. Push up with the left arm. Then we raise the left arm. Inhale as we come up. 3 breaths. Down you come. Again, you can stop and rest on the elbow and raise the right arm, or you can come right down and rest on the shoulder. Raise the right arm. 3 breaths. And gently push up. Again, you can stay in these positions for as long as you wish. I'm just giving you a sample. Sit back on the heels. Back into stretching out the arms. Lengthening the torso. Relaxing through the seat muscles. So you inhale as you walk your fingers across the mat. The movement is minimal, but it's important. Exhale as you soften and lengthen. Three more breaths. Then we'll go into the pose of the child. So we take our arms around the side, down beside our feet, relax through the elbows. Tuck your chin in. I hope my microphone is handling this okay. And you're trying to separate the shoulder blades. So you're taking the breath in, visualizing the upper back. That's the area you're expanding. And then relaxing and releasing with the elbows and the arms with the exhalation. If you can, keep trying to tuck the chin in further. Pose of the child. Take a breath in, visualizing the upper back. Feel those muscles stretching, and then soften and surrender through the shoulders, elbows, and arms. Tuck your chin in. And only if you wish, this isn't for everyone. If you've high blood pressure or problems with your eyes, you don't stay in this for a long time, or you don't do it at all. We raise our seat up and we roll into the perfected heel. Elbows down the side, or if you want more security, you can take your hands at the side of your head. It's a wonderful stretch in the neck, and it brings lovely, fresh, oxygenated blood up to the brain. To come out, you push the hands beside the head. And you come up very, very slowly, keeping the chin tucked in. Keep the chin tucked in. Come up as slowly as you can. Let the blood trickle back. Keeping the chin tucked in. Relax the shoulders. Palms on the thighs. Straighten the back. Keeping the chin down. And then when you feel comfortable, gently raise the chin, keeping the eyes closed. Just be for a few seconds. Just be with an equanimous mind. Let peace begin with me. Let me begin with peace. Smile. Treat yourself. Smile. My body is rested. My mind is calm. My heart is at peace. My spirit is so. And then we're just going to do a few rounds of alternate nostril. So remember, alternate nostril. The left nostril deals with your parasympathetic nervous system. So the left lowers you down, and the right deals with your sympathetic nervous system. So you can just choose to breathe through the left nostril. If at night you're struggling to sleep, You lie in your bed. You can lie on your right hand side, closing your right nostril, and just breathe through the left. That will calm you down. It will activate the parasympathetic nervous system. If in the morning you get up and you can't get going, you're a bit low in energy, lie on your left side and just breathe through your right nostril. That will work on your sympathetic nervous system. Left lowers, right raises. The homeostatic balance of the body switches the predominant nostril about every 90 minutes or so. But because of food allergies, illnesses, posture, it can't always be guaranteed to work perfectly. So with alternate nostril breathing, you take control of this process. So we're breathing through the left, out through the right, in through the right, out through the left. We take our, whichever hand you're left or right-handed, you take your two fingers in the middle of your, bend them down, you're left with your thumb and your ring finger. This is allowed to work on the cartilage to open and close the nostril. So we inhale and always exhale through both nostrils. Close the right nostril, inhale through the left. Close the left, out through the right. In right. Close the right, out left. Continue at your own pace, in left. Close left, open right, out right. In right. Close right, out left. I think you must have that. So a couple more rounds in your own time. I will remain quiet. Don't get annoyed or agitated. If you lose the sequence, you just start again, always with an equanimous mind. Equally, if any nostril is blocked, you stick your hand under the opposite armpit and squeeze firmly for a few moments. So if your left nostril is blocked and you want to clear it, you take your hand, place it under your armpit, and squeeze firmly for a couple moments. Or you take your fist and jam it in firmly. You can hold your elbow and push it in. In India, the sadhus, they lie on the side with small crutches and they jam the crutch under their armpit to clear whichever nostril is blocked. So to reiterate, if the left nostril is blocked, you stick your fist under your right armpit. If your right nostril is blocked, you put your fist or squeeze under your left armpit. Squeeze to open up the nostril, the one that you want to use. You mustn't believe a word I say. Try the practice and see what happens. Finish the round at your own. And again, just sit for a few moments with awareness and equanimous mind. Just lie down in Shavasana. Allow the circulation to return if you are kneeling, or for the body to gently ease out the tension. So again, floppy feet, palms upwards. Check that your chin is not painting the ceiling. Gently compress your lower back to the ground and release. We're just going to finish with a couple inverted postures. Very, very simple. So we take our hands and place them palms down at the side of the body. We take our feet to our seat. So you can either keep the hands, palms down at the side of your buttocks, or you can place the fists gently under your buttocks. But all we're going to do is raise our legs, and we're trying to keep as much of the lower back on the ground. So we're not coming away back like this, but we're trying to keep as much of the lower back grounded. You can place the fists on the edge of the buttocks. This is all we're looking for. So you won't get much movement, or I can't get much movement, because my lower back is always tight. And we're just breathing in and breathing out. And you can feel all we're aiming for is keeping the legs straight. You get a slight pull on the lower back. This is just allowing the blood and lymph in the extremities of the legs to rush back, give the venous return a break. If you have varicose veins, this is a good position to lie in. Let the blood trickle back. You can stay in this position, or if you wish to come into a slightly more strenuous position, you bend at the knees, push through the hands, and you gently raise the buttock and the lower back. Again, we're not going for full plow, we're not going for shoulder stand. This is just a general introduction. And worked on our ankles, toes, feet, knees. So again, we're not coming up high, we're not exerting, we're not pushing the torso onto the chin. We're just allowing the hips to rest comfortably on the hands. Give the heart a break. When you feel you've had enough, again, it's up to you how long you stay here. I don't know your medical conditions. I don't know what challenges your body's had throughout the years. But you bend at the knees. You place the hands on the ground, palms down. That supports you as you gently roll out. Gently roll out, slowly, slowly, vertebra by vertebra. You don't lift up the head. You don't spring up with the torso. Keep the feet where they are as they land on the ground with the bent knees. And we're just going to do a very gentle bridge, which puts the body in the opposite position, just to balance everything out. So if you want a stronger stretch in the thighs, you can take the heels, before we raise, take the heels as close as you can to the seat. Inhale as you raise up, not aggressively. Feel that the feet are parallel. And you just raise up to a comfortable position. We're not going for an aggressive, strenuous lift. Lift up to the first point of resistance and settle. Exhale. Inhale as you lift up the arms, stretching out. So everything's comfortable, everything's relaxed. And you decide how many breaths you want to have in this position, depending on how you feel today, with an equanimous mind. So we inhale, you slightly strengthen the stretch and push through the fingers. Keep the bottom up. Remember, even if you just do one, it's better than nothing. Perhaps this posture isn't for you today, and after one, it's not for you, so you leave it without beating yourself up. You try again tomorrow. Inhale, stretch up. You can feel the contraction, stretch of the thighs, the gluteals, lifting through the shoulder girdle and soften. So again, if you're practicing this at home, you can pause the video, continue as many stretches as you're with. You can go up and down. You can synchronize the hands, coming back down onto the mat at the same time as the buttocks. I like to stay up in this position and just gently contract and stretch. If you feel you're not getting a stretch through the thighs, then you can take the heels in closer and then come up again. And you'll feel the stretch through the thighs. To come out, you're going to synchronize the arms. And an exhalation, touching the ground, at the same time as you lower the seat. It's just focusing on the movements with awareness, as opposed to flopping out of something. Stretch out the legs. Just any clothing. Shavasana. Now, I want you to count down the breaths from 21 again, but I don't want you to control the breath. We've done a lot of breathing, so I want you to become aware of the natural rhythm of the body and the breathing. So get comfortable. Floppy feet. Dodge about. Palms facing upwards. Shoulders relaxed. Chin not painting the ceiling. You probably won't feel such need to compress the lower back onto the ground because you've already eased out a lot of the tension. Allowing the body to breathe naturally. Start to count down the breaths from 21 mentally. And with each exhalation, soften and surrender any remaining areas of tension in the body onto the ground. If your mind drifts, don't worry. It's okay. It's allowed. It will drift less and less with more and more practice. Do not chastise yourself. Always an equanimous mind. Equanimity. Mental calmness, composure, and awareness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. As you lie there, give yourself a big pat on the back for your practice, for you. We'll read out the final quote. There are some people in life that make you laugh a little louder, smile a little bigger, and live just a little bit better. Spend more time with those. So the quote is unknown. We'll read it again. There are some people in life that make you laugh a little louder, smile a little bigger, and live just a little bit better. Spend more time with those. As always, namaste with lots of love.